two more. Examples 3 and 4. We want to evaluate the following. Now this one only has 2x squared plus 5. Let's see if that changes our graph at all. So I'm going to start out putting my 2 times negative 2 squared plus 5. Now in this one, let me just draw your attention. Some people forget order of operations. We want to follow what these rules say. So first is parentheses, we can't do anything there. Next is exponents. Negative 2 squared is a positive 4. It's negative 2 times negative 2. Now I continue on. I get 8. 8 plus 5, 13. Okay, so my first point is 13. So let's try the next one. 2 times negative 1 squared plus 5. So the first thing I do is square negative 1, so it's going to be a positive 1. I have 2 times positive 1 plus 5. That's 2 plus 5. I get 7. Next one is 0, which is a pretty nice one. That whole term cancels, I just get 5. I will need to see that you're good at substituting these in and solving them on your own. You can check with the calculator, but I want you to be able to solve them without one. So 2 squared plus 5. 2 squared is 4, so I'm going to get 2 times 4 plus 5, which is 8 plus 5, which is 13. Now let's make our ordered pairs. Negative 2, 13, negative 1, 7, 0, 5, 1, 7, and 2, 13. Okay, so negative 2 up to 13 is actually the top point. Negative 1 up to 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 0 up to 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then we have 1 up to 7 and 2 up to 13. Connect them with a smooth curve. And what we end up seeing, my curves are not being very smooth here. Let's try again. Well, you got the idea, I think. Pretty close. So it should make a nice U, symmetrical U shape. And with this one, when we don't have that middle X, what happens is it ends up being right symmetrical across our y-axis. And that's what happens. If you look at our other ones, they're kind of placed wherever, not just somewhere on there. But this one is placed right symmetrical on the y-axis. All right, we're going to have another minimum. And we can do our last problem. Estimate or evaluate the following quadratic function. We have a negative out front here. So the first one's going to be negative 1 squared plus 2 times negative 1 minus 1. I'm going to do this one over here. This is like, if you can get this, then you are a champion with negatives. You should feel very accomplished. Actually, you should be able to get it. So take your time. Negative 1 squared is what we do first, because you do exponents first. Then I can rewrite everything if I want. And this is going to give me negative 1. This is going to give me negative 2. Negative 1 plus negative 2 minus 1 or plus a negative 1 gives me negative 4. My first output is negative 4. Good job. Now I have negative 0 squared plus 2 times 0 minus 1. This one, zeros are a lot nicer. 0 becomes 0 plus 0 minus 1, I get negative 1. Next one, negative 1 squared plus 2 times 1 minus 1. Negative 1 squared is 1, so I get negative 1 plus 2 minus 1. I just get 2. Okay. Oops, sorry. That's not right. Negative 1 plus 2 is positive 1 minus 1. I get 0, not 2. All right, next one, negative parentheses 2 squared plus 2 times 2 minus 1. 2 squared is 4, so I get negative 4 plus 4 minus 1, negative 1. And then lastly, negative 3, it's actually negative comma parentheses 3 squared plus 2 times 3 minus 1. I get negative 9 plus 6 minus 1. Negative 3 minus 1 is negative 4. Again, please work all of them out. Some people do the first, they'll do this on a test, this on a test, this on a test, and then they skip these ones and just recopy whatever they got. But if you miss these ones, then you're recopying the wrong answer. So be careful. It's a good self-check built right into the problem. Just going to write down my ordered pairs as it asks. 2, negative 1, and 3, negative 4. Okay, negative 1, negative 4, 0, negative 1, 0, or 1, 0, 2, negative 1, and 3, negative 4. Alrighty, I'm going to go ahead and draw a nice smooth curve going through those. I have my parabolas, draw the arrows on both sides. This one's going to be a maximum. Okay, nice job on this. There's one final thing I want to point out, just like I did in the last lesson. I'll kind of pull some things together. The way you figure out, without even graphing, I could have told you right off the bat this was going to be an upside down or like a frowny face. Because we have this negative. If you have a negative on the x squared term, only on the x, it doesn't matter what's happening here or here. But when you look at this x squared term, if you have a negative, it's going to be a frowny face. If you don't have a negative, like you don't here, you have a positive, it's a positive 2 on the x squared, you're going to have a happy face. If we go to any of the others, positive x squared, happy face. Okay. Positive where are we? Positive x squared, happy face. So that's a nice little trick that sometimes if all they're asking you for is the max or min, like if I were to give you y equals negative 4x squared plus 2, or I was going to give you y equals 3x squared plus 2x plus 1. This one has a negative on the x squared, it's going to be a frowny face. So that means it'll have a maximum. In this case, it's going to be a positive x squared, so it's going to be positive happy face, it'll have a minimum. So you don't even need to do work. You're set. All right, good job, guys.